big tutti, you remain seated.
Yes.
אוקיי. אוקיי. הפעם יש לנו בכורה באינטרמצו. לראשונה אומן אורח משוודיה. פסנתרן נהדר, שמו סטפן שיה. שלום סטפן.
Shalom, Arie.
You know what I said now to our viewers? I said it is a debut, our debut. Can you guess in what sense?
A Swedish musician?
Yeah, sure. You are the
Wow.
first Swedish musician.
I'm very honored to be here.
I'm sure in many countries you played, you were the first Swedish pianist.
Well, that's true, but more and more now there are very, very good Swedish soloists coming out and playing internationally.
And wonderful pianists as well.
Some of them are, and we have some, of course, we always had very good singers, very good choirs emanating from Sweden.
And wonderful orchestras. We'll talk about all of it later. Composers. The most famous composer, number one composer, is Stenhammar.
Yes, not only for his composing, but he was an important musical figure in Sweden. He founded the Gothenburg Symphony. He was a fine pianist, and he was part of the continental mainstream musical life at the time. I think his first piano concerto he played in Berlin was conducted by Richard Strauss himself.
Really?
Yes,
That's
yes.
fantastic. So that means he is a late romantic.
Yes, yes.
Which means that his style is...
It's very Brahmsian.
I see.
Yes, very Brahmsian. He was not so much into the national idiom, maybe as a Grieg or a Sibelius was at the time. He wanted to be more connected to the German tradition.
And he's more in Brahms. So to speak, if Grieg is more connected to Schumann, then Stenhammar is to Brahms. He's more substantial, heavy, serious.
Yes, and he enjoyed writing in the sonata form. He has some wonderful symphonies, string quartets, a couple of piano sonatas and piano concerti, and they're all in the basic or the German idiom, I would say.
The piece that you are going to perform now is named?
It's a fantasy, and it's a very youthful piece of his. He was in his late teens when he wrote it. It's a very Sturm und Drang, romantic, and very Brahmsian in its texture, I would say.
And very pianistic.
And very pianistic.
Thank you very much, Steffan. That was
you.
wonderful, very inspiring. I must share with you some experiences that we have here at Intermezzo. Sometimes we make a game. I sit the place you sit now, and there is a team of experts sitting here by the piano, and I play for them unknown pieces. And they are great experts, fantastic musicians, and they are supposed to tell me which nationalities, which periods could it be, is it a good composition, is it a bad composition? Yeah, yeah. It's a kind of a game, but the viewer knows in the very beginning who is the composer. So this could be a fantastic piece for this game.
I'll send you the score.
Yeah. Since you played it, and I was sitting here, I presume I don't know who is the composer. And I can tell you what would be my verdict. First of all, he's a very fine composer. It's convincing. I have to listen to it. It's very pianistic. It's very musical. As for the style, by elimination, I can say it's not Russian, it's not Spanish, it's not Italian, it's even not really German, it's not French, it's not British. So, and it's not like Grieg or Chopin. And so what is left? What is left? What the hell is left? For me, the nearest will be, you know what? You will not believe the youth composition of Richard Strauss, the burlesque. You remember when Strauss wrote the burlesque and his style was not yet crystallized, and it was a little bit that, but fantastically talented. Would you agree with that?
Maybe so, yeah. But there are some traces of Scandinavian folklore. Of
like
course,
what? Show us, please. Yeah, but that
this modulation.
Hey, that is very similar to the second theme of the burlesque, which
right.
Lenny Bernstein took to West Side Story. You remember this? Yeah. So, you know what is for me the best known Swedish music? The Schubert Trio, Opus 100.
With the theme, yes. Of
yeah,
course.
Which is Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
Can you play it for us so that?
No, I don't have it here.
Okay. Tell us more about the history of music, classical music in Sweden.
Well, in the mid-18th century, our king at the time, Gustav III, wanted to model the cultural life of Sweden like they had in France. So he founded all these academies, the Musical Academy, the Art Academy, and of course the Swedish Academy that awards the Nobel Prize nowadays.
Never in music, by the way.
No.
Okay.
But, and his idea was to be able to provide good artists and writers and painters from Sweden. So, and of course he imported teachers from the continent at the time. And the first really major Swedish composer at the time was Johan Helmich Roman.
I see. Barockian.
Baroque.
And then later the orchestras?
Then he founded this opera orchestra.
I see.
And then in the mid or late 19th century, Stenhammar founded the Gothenburg Symphony.
Yeah, we say in Hebrew Göteborg. Is it correct?
That's correct. Göteborg would be
Göteborg.
Okay. Would be the correct pronunciation.
It's a fantastic orchestra.
It's very, very good.
You play with it often.
Many times. Yes.
You acted in a film about Grieg.
About Edvard Grieg, yes.
Not about Stenhammar.
No. There was this anniversary of Grieg a couple of years back, and Norwegian television wanted to make a history of his life, seen through his music. And the two pieces that I heard in the documentary, the ballad and the string quartet.
And you were the actor and the pianist?
Yes, because they needed someone who could play the ballad and who was short enough. Because Grieg, of course, was only 160 or something. And I fitted that description. The big problem for me was to put in blue lenses every morning.
See.
Because he was very, very blue-eyed. Yeah.
And how about the moustache?
The moustache, they fit it every morning, and it was a wonderful experience, actually, to do this.
And you don't wear the moustache in the daily life?
No, I don't.
Music is, after all, the truth that endures. My music tells the story of my restless soul, of a man for whom happiness was always somewhere else, with someone I couldn't have, in something that was never to be. It's all there in my music for those who want to hear it. Perhaps not in my most popular pieces, but 2 works at least were written with my heart's blood. My ballade for piano and my string quartet. That I know for certain. And in this music, perhaps, someone will be able to recognize the man behind the monument, as well as in the remaining fragments of my life as it really was.
I love it. It's so beautiful, sad and nostalgic.
Yes.
Was it filmed in Trollhaugen?
Parts of this movie was done in Trollhaugen, but also in Rome and in German film studios. This is based on a true story, actually. He played the ballade for his publishers in Leipzig. And they said, no, it's too complicated, it's too sad. Get back to your lyrical pieces, you know, they would sell much better. So this was his frustration, of course. And this was the first and only time Grieg himself played this piece. He never played it in public after that.
You know, the fact that you played Grieg still indicates this fact that Norway had Grieg. Sibelius belongs to the Finns, and Sweden is left without a great figure
Yes.
as big as Chopin or... In this is almost the fate of Britain, a wonderful musical country without a great composer.
Mm-hmm. This is our fate. What can we do? Stenhammar filled some of these other giants' shoes, but not on the same level. He never became this national hero like Grieg and Sibelius did. But since they were connected to Sweden and desperately trying to be their own nations, of course this creates another kind of nationalism, another kind of pride in their music and in their literature. I think it has some significance.
Do you think that it has to do with the fact that Sweden was so strong and dominating, that you have to suffer a lot?
Suffering can be good. Suffering can be good in creativity, yes. And for sure, it was very important for Grieg especially to use the folk music and the folklore and to be a Norwegian composer more than anything else. And he personifies the mood of Norway and the nature of Norway. And at the same time, he wanted to be accepted as the great composer, symphonic composer, if you wish, which he never became. But what he did is wonderful, wonderful music, I think.
Steffan, you forgive me for saying it, but you look as a very serious person. Are you a serious person?
I am a serious person.
But the next clip, you are part of a group of jokers, aren't you?
Ah, yes, this piano extravaganza
Yeah.
from the Verbier Festival. Yeah, it was a fun recording. It was fun to be with all those wonderful pianists.
Can you just mention some names of this fun recording?
Well, I'm sitting next to Mikhail Pletnev, and I have James Levine on the other side. Then comes Kisin, I think, and the Lang Lang is there, Ansnes is there, and you name it. It was a bunch of stars.
Some good friends.
Yes.
Steffan, somebody told me that you belong to the royal family. Is it correct?
Well, not really. My cousin is married to Princess Christina, the sister of the king.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
However, the name Scheja doesn't ring so much.
No. It's Polish in origin. My great-grandfather was a Jewish man.
So you're Jewish?
Yes. He was born in Galicia, in Krakow.
As I said, everybody is Jewish.
Everyone's Jewish.
You too?
Me too.
Steffan Scheja?
Steffan Scheja.
Okay. And that's a Jewish name, has to do with...
His name was Scheja Jakob.
Yeshayahu,
Jakob, Scheja in Russian means neck, but it's a Polish name originally. And he came to Sweden in the 1880s, and so all the Schejas in Sweden have this ancestor.
And you are going to play for us now, after this wonderful secret Schubert movement.
Yes, a scherzo from his last piano sonata, the B-flat sonata.
Steffan, Rosina Levin was supposed to be the best teacher in the world at Juilliard.
Yes.
How old she was when you studied with her?
Well, she invited me over to join her class. I had made a recording for American public when I was 18. She heard it and invited me, and I was excited, of course, very honored. And she was 90 plus when I came to her, and not very energetic. But I did have a few lessons with her, and then I was fortunate to meet with Ilona Kabos.
Yeah. Was she, tell me in a secret, was she sleepy sometimes?
Yes, she would take a little nap during the lessons.
I see.
Yes.
And Ilona Kabos, who was Hungarian, was a little bit more stormy.
Yeah.
I heard that she was throwing the notes through the windows if she was unhappy.
She had a very, very strong temperament, and she would use her red crayon and write the music.
And another teacher you had was?
Anja Dorfman.
Tell me, they were all Jewish ladies.
Yes, and they all represent, not Kabos so much, but the very fine Jewish Russian of piano playing.
And you are going to play for us?
Now, a prelude by Sergei Rachmaninoff.
Which
Opus.
I'm sure you studied by Dorfman and
Yes,
Levin.
I think I did played for that, yes.
Thank you so much,
Toda rabba, Arie.
Steffan. Toda rabba lecha. And if you allow me, I will conclude in Hebrew, because I suspect you understand some Hebrew. You are married with an Israeli lady.
We have two wonderful daughters who speak Hebrew fluently.
אז מה שרציתי להגיד, הנה הסבא בא מפולניה והיגר לשוודיה ונשא את השם שיה, והבן גילה את הכישרון היהודי הגדול ונסע ללמוד אצל מורות יהודיות בניו יורק וחזר לשוודיה והוא ממשיך את המסורת שם, ואני בטוח שבמוקדם או במאוחר יפרח ויגדל גם המלחין השוודי הלאומי הגדול, מפני שזה רק הכל עניין של זמן. לנורווגיה ולפינלנד היה מזל, כך גם לשופן בפולניה ואחרים. פינלנד היה לה את המזל שלה, נורווגיה היה, שוודיה זה יגיע. בונים תרבות, כך. יש להם תזמורות נפלאות, יש להם אהבת מוזיקה נפלאה, וזה יבוא.